Hi, my name is Caitlin Miles, and I'm a master's student in the Department of Cultural Studies at Sabancı University in Istanbul, Turkey, where I've lived for the past 4 years. My area of expertise lies at the intersection of media, women, and activism. As an undergraduate student, I worked on a paper that was eventually accepted for presentation at several nationally and internationally renowned conferences that outlined the ways and examined the ways in which Arab women, both abroad and within the United States, expatriate Arab women, were utilizing social networking sites and other various information communication technologies to participate in the activism of the so-called Arab Spring, particularly during the initial stages. I examined the ways in which these social networking sites formed networks of solidarity and acted as a way to coordinate events and also promote an agenda of women's activism, agency, and rights within these protests, and as a way of hoping to foment not just change within the country, but a change that would also see women taking a more active role within the future politics of these countries. After completing this project, I moved to Istanbul, Turkey, where I had been an exchange student for 1 year. And part of the reason for my move was I was very excited about a project I was hoping to start with another fellow activist and the founder of Egypt's Harass Map, Rebecca Chow, who I had been in contact through email and telephone. My goal was to start a project which would use various forms of information and communication technologies, such as cell phones or the computer, like the internet, to create a database of incidences of sexual harassment in Istanbul, Turkey, which is quite a problem and something I experienced on a daily basis, and women all across the city experience on a daily basis. The data we gathered through various reports of street harassment that could be reported through text message, email, or phone call would be utilized to create an interactive map to highlight the various problem areas in this city. This website that would have eventually been created would also have created a form of solidarity and network building for women and who had been victims of harassment. However, my co-founder and I, and after discussing this with Rebecca, the founder of Egypt's Harass Map, we realized our project was problematic in that it was not rooted in the pre-existing local feminist activism to fight against street harassment in Istanbul, Turkey. So the project was put aside, though we had created many networks with feminist activists in the city and gained much insight into the workings of various new media which were being utilized by organizations across the world, such as Egypt's Harass Map, to advocate for women's rights on the streets, rights over their bodies, rights to take a place in the public eye. So my interest moved more from creating a form of media activism to researching media activism as a graduate student. As a graduate student, I have worked on various papers that have highlighted the intersection of women's position in the media and how women have been positioned in the media. So women in the media and how women are positioned by various media. Particularly, I've been interested in how various forms of social movement media, particularly alternative forms of media, have appropriated gendered symbols during the Gezi Park resistance protests, which took place in June of 2013. I submitted a paper, which I'm also going to be submitting for publication soon, how women were appropriated as these seemingly naive, agentless, passive figures in need of protection. in this paper, and how this appropriation demarcated a very masculine public space within the Gezi Park protests. I particularly examined the Kırmızılı Kadın, the woman in red, and the Siyahlı Kadın, the woman in black. And these were two images of women who were either sprayed down with tear gas spray by the police, or TOMA vehicles, which are riot control vehicles in Istanbul, Turkey. And how those images were disseminated internationally, not just through various alternative media outlets, but mainstream media outlets, and the repercussions of such gendered symbolic appropriation, such visual imagery, and how various other feminist activists within Istanbul, particularly the Istanbul Feminist Collective, and how they responded through various media technologies, such as Facebook and Twitter, and how they created a manifesto disseminated online to combat this gendered appropriation, and how they saw it as inappropriate and inaccurate of the women's activism on the ground during the protests. Additionally, and my most recent project, and the project I'm hoping to be continuing with as part of my master's thesis, has been an examination of the Nar Photos Collective, an independent photography collective based in Istanbul, Turkey. And as part of this project, I've been particularly focused and working with a female member of this collective, a very prominent member of this collective, and chronicling her experiences and understanding her experiences as a female photographer, and that position she takes, and how she has been positioned as a woman in the media, and how she lives this daily experience of being a woman in the media, even though it's a form of alternative media. Additionally, I'm hoping that all of this work does not just position women into a single form of feminism. I'm hoping that my work highlights the various ways in which women live feminism in a complex variety of ways, and that how they live these experiences and express these experiences as both women in the media and through the media. And that these are not just experiences of women hoping to overcome quote-unquote traditional patriarchal structure, but how they navigate their choices of lives and how they position themselves within a complex social structure that is not necessarily based on tradition versus modernity, religion versus secularism, and that these women actively make choices based on their daily practices, and how these daily practices and choices are reflected through their professions in the media and through their uses of various forms of media.